I think that concludes our movie portion.
Yeah, so let's get back to we were talking about local stuff.
Yeah.
We're
2 hours and 2 minutes, so we're going to do part 3s.
Okay.
Or this is part 3.
So hopefully someone's driving on a dark road Friday night, and they're like, you know what, I just need to be bored or creeped out. Or...
Well, before we get to Camaroncito, because you mentioned somebody might be driving out in the middle of nowhere, I can think of most recently, what was it, maybe about 2 or 3 years ago, maybe? You and I went on a late-night trip to Devil's Backbone.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And we didn't see a damn thing because you were flooring it the whole time because you were freaked out.
Yeah, it was creepy, man.
It was creepy. It was very creepy. But I've heard there's lots of crazy, cool stuff out there.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Devil's Backbone, and I don't have a map in front of me, so I can't be specific, but it's kind of like, it's this kind of loop that kind of touches, it's like basically goes from like, you can go from San Marcos back to 281, got kind of near like Blanco, like Pedernales
that's where
Falls,
we started,
that area. We started from 281.
Yeah.
And you kind of come back down another road, and it goes through Fisher, Texas, and it comes back through Wimberley and San Marcos. It's just kind of loop, and it's really popular with like motorcycle groups and stuff. Kind of, it's just really hilly.
But for daytime riding.
Yeah. It's beautiful countryside, lots of hills, lots of kind of steep.
Night.
And at night, it's just dark as shit. There's no lights, and you can't really see anything, and it's just hills and hills. So if you do see cars, they disappear over the hills and stuff. And, like there's all kinds of myths and folklore that, like, people see old-time, like, ghosts
Civil War
soldiers and Indians and horses and all this phantom stuff, and which makes sense because all these areas, especially down here, have...
that kind of history,
that kind of history of Civil War history and kind of conquest history and Native American history and Western history and all that stuff kind of comes into play. So, if you in any way believe in, an afterlife or resonance or whatever you want to call it, it makes sense that these places, have the imprint of that.
Yeah. Coming from the psychologist's point of view, the psychological point of view, going back to what we had said way at the beginning, kind of the thing that I think of is that manifestations are of our own imagination, or the history that we've carried along with us, that memory of the past is with us, and that's kind of like what kind of... If we see a Civil War ghost, it's not because there's actually a Civil War ghost, but it's a manifestation of what we would believe a Civil War ghost
because you expect to see it.
Right, exactly, and that kind of thing. But with going down Devil's Backbone, like I was really hoping, like I was like, okay, I want to challenge it, and I say we do this one time, maybe next Halloween episode. We all go out there, the three of us.
Let's do it tonight. Let's go. Let's go, guys.
Let's go. We're out, guys.
But we go out and we do a portable, like, just audio cast of the whole thing, podcast of the whole thing, and we park the car, we walk 100 yards.
Send Michael out to the woods.
No, we just walk 100 yards and then walk 100 yards back. That's it. That's the challenge.
That is terrifying.
That's a challenge.
Would you be able to do that? I'd be scared.
Probably not.
I'd need to be drunk.
Yeah.
Well, with flashlights. We get flashlights,
And a fucking lightsaber and a fucking Uzi.
I have a box of weapons that we can use.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
Just so you guys know, shurikens kill ghosts.
Shuriken. No, anyway, but I think we should do that. I think we should.
Yeah, no, that would be cool. So,
or if we don't have the balls to get out of the car and walk 100 yards, at least get out and hang out around the car.
Yeah, no, I think we could do that. That'd be terrifying. But I think as a group, as our collective one nut sack, we might be able to pull it off for a couple of minutes, maybe.
Yeah. Well, and maybe we would have some guests too, possibly.
Yeah, hopefully, we'll fucking Peter Venkman or Constantine. But yeah, actually, one time after that, Carol and I made the trip. We kind of did this kind of day-long drink, eat excursion through the hill country. And we went up through like New Braunfels and San Marcos, Wimberley, which are all incredible places to kind of day trip through. And we did make the loop, the Devil's Backbone loop. And we were actually trying to make it during the day because we actually wanted to see it. Because the time we went, it was at night. And
pitch black.
Because I took a unfortunate wrong turn and ended up almost in Austin. We by the time we got back to it proper, it was nighttime. And kind of the capper to our little day trip was to visit this tavern. Mm-hmm. And I didn't tell her where it was. I was like, I was trying to attempt to, guys suck at this, but you're attempting to be cool and I'm going to take you somewhere. It's a surprise,
Yeah.
And anyway, so we get to I'm following Google Maps, and it takes me to an address, which is a corner of this not dirt road, but it's like a highway / crossing with a dirt road.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is it. And she's like, where are we? And I'm like, oh, fuck, there's nothing here. And I'm like, there's supposed to be something here. And she's like, what is it? And of course, after like 10 minutes, she's like, okay, if we don't tell me, if we don't figure it out in the next 5 minutes, we're going home. And I'm like, no, let me figure it out. We're looking around. We can't find it, even though Google Maps is fucking telling me we're there. So finally, I'm like, okay, I'm trying to take you to this fucking bar, like it's a cool place, but I was trying to make it a surprise, and I'm failing at my attempt at being spontaneous. And anyway, so I call the number, and the lady answers, and she's like, hello, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, hey, I'm trying to find you. Where are you at? She's like, where are you at? And I'm like, I'm right here at the corner of this, and this is the address I'm at. I can't find it. She's like, no, Google Maps is wrong. You got to keep driving. So we drive another half mile, and we find it. It's this bar. It's called the Devil's Backbone Tavern. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of in this middle of nowhere, Fisher, Texas, which is like an intersection. That's it. And it's this little like tavern. Looks like an old stone house, and you go in there, and the floors are like wood planks, and the walls are stone. And if you look on the wall, there's like a map. It says Devil's Backbone, and there's a big devil mask on the wall.
Oh man!
And supposedly one of the rocks above this fireplace looks like the devil's face. But it's a cool as shit. It's like not like, and it's funny because they're they know it's called the Devil's Backbone. People go in there,
Yeah.
But it's not like, it doesn't feel like manipulative, or like it's not like a fucking gift
shop. Not like an Area 51 kind of a place.
Yeah, it's just a cool laid back. And we go in there, and like what was creepy is like we're the only non-white people there. It's just like these like guys in overalls, like cowboys, and they're having beers. It's their local probably, and we're fucking 40 miles from home. Yeah. And but it was the coolest little bar. Nobody was there. And after a while, a couple guys left, and the bartender's lady, she's like, you guys need anything? We're like, yeah, we have a couple beers, and they're cheap. Have a couple beers and a bag of chips or whatever. And she's like, okay, cool. Well, here you go. And if you need me, I'll be over there at that table. And she's over there drinking with some friends. She's there taking shots. And so we're sitting at the bar. And every once in a while, I'll be like, hey, oh, yeah, come over and give us some beers. And the jukebox has unlimited plays.
Nice.
And it's all like pretty good, like well-known country music and some decent mainstream kind of.
You had
old
me at
rock.
Unlimited songs. And
it was just a cool ass place, but it was a cool experience, and it was funny because it wasn't particularly scary, obviously, especially being in a bar. But I remember at one point going outside and being like, it sounded like this, like just silence, and being like, okay, this is like in a movie. You're having a good time at the bar, and you go out to the car to get something, and then
you die.
You get fucking dragged off into the night. Yeah. So that's all that was going through my head.
That's what happens. It's either then when you're about to get laid, or right after you're done getting laid,
right. You're rolling over with the smoke,
or
and
if you're drunk or stoned or wasted or in some sort, then you die.
Yeah,
it's a moral. It's always a moral.
Yeah. So and we were just disclaimer for the children. We were being very responsible with our drinking, and we were all that. We had a designated driver. Jesus took the wheel.
Oh man. Okay, so that was I wanted to go over that.
That was a tangent on the Devil's Backbone.
But that's still good. That's still a good story. I'm glad you told that one. That was kind of what I was going to.
An interesting thing to try would be to have a designated driver and to drink a 12-pack of Devil's Backbone on the Devil's Backbone.
Fuck that, dude.
Because I'm sure our people out there have heard of.
Michael, have you had Devil's Backbone?
I have not.
I haven't gotten you to try it.
Have it.
So I got Rick. Well, no, who you started it, right?
Yeah, we just picked it up. Yeah, I took it to
Nick's.
Yeah, we were hanging out one night or something. And
then we went to Nick's, and we got Nick to try it. And after two,
we
were all pretty gone. Nick just bailed. Completely.
Yeah, I started hallucinating.
It was his party, and he left and went to bed.
Yeah, some weird shit.
And Monia came out, and she's like, he's asleep. We're like, what? But we were sitting out there hallucinating with his brother.
Yeah,
or brother-in-law. Yeah.
That's funny. But yeah, I mean, it's a good beer. It's made by kind of a local
real
ale.
Yeah,
brewing company makes it. It's a really strong
you either love it or you hate
it. Like a Belgian ale. Anyway, so
but
that would be interesting.
It's spiced.
It'd be interesting to take a ride and have a 6-pack of that because you'd probably start seeing
a 6-pack each.
Yeah.
Oh hell no!
Or 2.
I would die after.
I can't even
3
have
or
more
4.
than like 2.
Yeah, 2 is my record.
Not to keep pushing my tangent, but when we were at the Devil's Backbone, we had a Devil's Backbone.
Nice. They had it there?
At the Devil's Backbone
That's
Tavern.
cool.
No
That's
shit.
really cool.
We switched to Lone Star because we had to drive home. But we did have one.
One
we were
Devil's
like,
Backbone.
yeah,
did
you had
Carolyn
to.
like it?
Oh yeah, she's had it before. She likes
okay.
it. But that shit will
That'll
freaking
mess you up.
Mess you up good.
Yeah, I don't even know why, because it's not like it's extra alcohol
it's
or
the
anything.
picture. I don't know the picture on the bottle.
It's the seance that they held over it before you drank it.
Something. Good stuff, though.
So going back to El Camaroncito, I grew up on this story as a kid, and I'd heard all different versions of it. There's the most famous version, though, for those who aren't familiar. What the name of the place was El Camaroncito, right? Because they don't really have it.
That's like the little shrimp or something. It's kind of a weird name.
It's like a dance hall.
It's like a wiener, like a euphemism for a little tiny wiener.
This is like back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, somewhere around there.
I think it was the 70s.
Maybe I don't know. No, I thought it was younger than that. Maybe I don't know. I could be wrong. But basically the story goes is that there was this debonair guy that went in to this dance hall, all decked out, dressed to the nines, starts dancing with all the ladies. And the men are kind of like, a little jealous of it, like, who is this guy, whatever. And one version says that he's dancing with somebody and they look down at his feet and it's chicken's feet.
Mm-hmm.
Another version is it's goat's hooves.
Yeah. Or both.
Or both.
Like on the loteria thing, it's like a goat foot and a chicken foot.
A goat foot and a chicken foot.
Yeah. Makes sense.
One version says that was on the dance floor. Another version says that he went to the restroom and men followed him in there to beat him up, and he disappeared in a puff of sulfur smoke.
Yellow smoke.
Yeah. And so but that story's been around for a long time, and both versions, either way, it's always sulfur, and it had to be the devil.
Yeah.
Just a creepy kind of a thing, and I think for our generation, we kind of missed out on it because we were never familiar with that location. But for the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and 70 somethings that remember that time frame, that lived through it, it's pretty creepy for them. You talk to them and they bring it up.
I mean, I know you grew up in it was West Side. I mean, you were in the South Side, but do you remember hearing that story as a kid?
Not really. No.
Yeah, because it also one of the other stories it happened at La Gloria Dance Hall, which was right there, kind of as you're coming into the West Side, near the. I forgot what the name of the park is right there, but near Produce Row and all that stuff. In that area, there was La Gloria. It used to be. It's something else now. I think it's actually a body shop or something now. But one of the stories is it's that place. It's always that kind of thing with an urban legend where it's
any nondescript dance hall place.
Yeah. But that story, I remember hearing that as a kid. And obviously, it stuck with me enough that I spent a couple of years writing a script about it.
Excellent, amazing script. By the way.
But that's a good story, definitely. And
so you didn't hear that one, Michael? Which San Antonio spooky shit stories have you heard or are familiar with? Or
the Trax was the biggest one.
Yeah,
I mean the Trax was the thing that you used to hear about.
What about La Llorona?
No,
the lady in white.
Never heard that.
No. Oh, that's another good one. And that one actually was in Grimm. I think season 2 of Grimm. Yeah. They had La Llorona. Basically, it's a story about this woman who
killed her kids.
She drowned her kids in the river.
Yeah, she had an affair with a married man. And she got pregnant, and he, didn't return her love and was going to stay with his wife. And out of grief, she drowned all her kids
and then herself.
Yeah, and then now she's
the crying woman, La Llorona,
searching for her drowned children.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's some crazy weird stories, man.
Yeah,
but that was famous enough to make it into pop culture.
Yeah,
even now,
it's interesting stuff like that. I mean, I'll jump to another kind of hop onto the story train in a second, but that's interesting about stuff like that, like the Weeping Woman and the Ghost Tracks and the Devil Story. Is it us growing up here, there's kind of this built-in memory of knowing that. You don't know maybe even the first time you heard it or where you heard it, but that enough details that, like you were saying about the wheelchair thing, it's enough details for it to be scary as fuck and to understand what it means and all that. But it's interesting because, I mean, you see, like, that story, like, of they call it, like, the devil in the dance hall story. Mm-hmm. I mean, even though, like, living here, we associate it with San Antonio because, you know, usually every year around Halloween they print a story about that or whatever. But, I mean, it is a older folklore story. Mm-hmm. It's a generally you think of it as a Mexican folklore story. That always goes back, and it's the same still. It's like some mom's telling her daughter that, you know, be good,
be careful when you go to the club.
You know, like virginal,
yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of like, and that's what's cool is because you can trace the morals of, you know, kind of like the story.
Don't
which
be a
is,
whore.
Don't be slut. Don't go out and
don't dance with some
something
random
something bad will happen to you.
Don't talk to strangers.
And it's weird because that's the thing. It's like it never changes. Like throughout all of time and, you know, kind of modern civilization, that allegory doesn't go away because it's always true. Mm-hmm. There's always something to be afraid of. There's always, you know, and now maybe more than ever, there is things to be scared of if you're a young woman or even a young man. Like there's things to be scared of that could happen to you. So it's always a slightly, like you said, like for a lot of these things to be as potent as they are and to live as long as they do, like they have to kind of skirt the rim of society, you know, of real life, of reality. And but yeah, like definitely you go back and look like older like kind of collections of folklore and stuff, and you'll see the devil in the dance hall story in Mexico or whatever else. And actually, like even like in my research when I was doing the script, just as a kind of cast off, like this is before I even like knew any Irish people, but one of the characters is like of Irish descent in the script, and you know, it's him and his partner, the Mexican American guy, are kind of ribbing each other. And as I kind of ended up kind of putting that in, and then kind of at the same time, like during my research, realizing that in Ireland, in Galway, Ireland, actually, which is a beautiful city on the west coast of Ireland.
That you've actually been to.
Yeah. And I didn't know this until after I went there, I think. Yeah, it was after I went there that I realized this. That they have a very similar story about this dance hall there in Galway, like back in the 50s, the same exact thing happened.
Yeah.
Same exact thing happened. You know, quote, quote. Yeah. You can't see my quotes. But on the other side of the world. And it was the same story. Some girl goes to this dance hall. She sees a devil, blah, blah, blah. So I think like every year they have like this kind of like film festival or horror film festival that kind of commemorates that happening.
Yeah.
They have some kind of thing. I can't remember what it is. They have some kind of thing that commemorates that. And I thought it was such a fucking cool thing that, again, by accident, I found that. So haters, don't be stealing that. It's already in my script. But
copyrighted already.
Yeah, it's already been copyrighted and registered. But that thing reaches across. And a lot of that, obviously, is like societal and probably religious. You know, you'll get shared religions, Catholicism, and kind of all the built-in guilt that comes with Catholicism. Don't be a slut, you know, like... Wow. Nice. But that's built in. But it's just a cool thing, and that's the kind of thing that you see, like whether it is something you can localize or not. Like it's cool to see that it has those kind of, you can connect other people through these.
Well, shit. I mean, like for those people that are like, oh no, that really happened. For them to hear that, oh, this happened on the other side of the planet. Yeah. At another little bar. Yeah. And with another completely different culture. Yeah.
And it's weird because I don't think that discredits it. I mean, I would never tell that to people to discredit their you know, beliefs.
No,
it's that
I think
you
it's
go,
even more interesting.
why wouldn't it happen?
Right.
Like if the devil is real,
why would the devil just be in San Antonio?
Yeah.
I bet he was everywhere.
He would be everywhere.
I bet he danced with everybody.
Yeah, he's a whore.
He is.
He's a man whore.
He is, with goat and rooster feet.
Yeah, that's right.
With razors tied to his ankles.
Stinking up the joint.
With sulfur.
So I was doing a little bit of research on sulfur, like the sulfur smell, right? Because usually when you know that smell, it's a rotten egg. It's a rotten egg, stinky smell, like a fart smell.
There's a city in New Zealand that we made a stop in last summer that is pure sulfur.
And it stinks like it.
Yeah, they have the sulfur springs, like it's a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was blown away. Like literally, you get off the plane and you're just like, it's amazing, and like everybody there's used to it. But I mean, wow,
it's like somebody farted in your face.
It's overwhelming. You have to like really get used to it. I was like, glad we're only in this city for like a day. I think, but wow, I did not know there was something possible like that with this sulfur thing.
Yeah,
jeez.
Yeah. So I'm like doing research. I knew, like, you know, like even here, like you go like back down to like the Hot Wells Springs in South Side San Antonio, and that's, you know, it's sulfur, like back in the day, that was like a healing property, or like it would take away, different ailments and fungus and all kinds of shit or whatever. People would bathe in it, but it stunk like that. But like, I won't even get into it because I don't remember, and I've had a couple of drinks. But it's a fairly common element, like in nature, and it there is like sulfur bacteria that kind of comes from bacteria, like in bad pipes and different things like that, and it's a very like volcanic. It's like part of the volcanic residue when like, volcanoes explode and stuff. Sulfur is something that's built into that, which is
there's a poisonous gas too, right?
I think when it turns into not methane. Yeah, never mind. I think for the most part, it's not really. It stinks, but it doesn't really do anything to you. It's not dangerous to you, but it usually is a signifier of like sometimes it can be a gas leak or something, like some kind of buildup of gas, like septic gas. Yeah, that will like methane that will explode, if you light it or something like that. Right. But it's interesting reading about that. It's interesting, like, because to read an article about like you're looking up like devil sulfur and then looking up actually like the element sulfur, like on Wikipedia, and they're totally different articles, but you could see where they connect. Where, going back to like the Roman times and stuff like that, where, sulfur was associated with these healing properties, and actually, in some of the stuff I was reading, like sulfur was actually connected to obviously like divinity, in some places in the Bible I think it's even called like God's breath.
Sulfur?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because like you see like in Sodom and Gomorrah, it was like raining like the fire and brimstone and all this shit, and salt and sulfur and all this stuff. So it's signified by God's wrath. When they say like when the beast is thrown into hell and all the sinners and the liars and the whores, whatever, go to hell, they're thrown into fire and brimstone. Brimstone is the ancient word for sulfur. Yeah. And they say, so it's not like hell's made of sulfur. It's like hell's, that brimstone is created by God's fire, God's wrath.
So I thought you said breath earlier. That's what
I did say breath.
Okay, wrath makes more sense.
Yeah, no, but it's breath. Like it's the, the anger, the fire that comes out of him, that brings wrath upon sinners and whatever. Yeah. So anyways, this is stuff that, ancient stuff that goes back to the Romans and, the Bible and all this shit. So it's really interesting to me, like, how that connects. And, of course, you can kind of connect that with the science of it. Yeah. Like, what it means. Like, volcanic ash. You could apply that to, like, ancient Rome, ancient Greece, where these places that had volcanoes, volcanic activities, and that you invent stories that go along with that. And so as I was reading it, like thinking about like preparing for the show earlier, I was thinking about that with like the Devil in Dance Hall thing. People were like running into the bathroom and they're like, "Oh, it smells like sulfur." I'm like, "Oh, it's probably like dirty sewer pipes." Oh yeah. Like at work, like sense. Where I work down. I work at, we live in kind of this slightly rustic, to say the least, area, and every time you turn on the water faucet, it smells like sulfur. It smells like rotten eggs. That smell. And I was reading, I was thinking about like, where does that come from? And it's like, oh, you might have bacteria in your water heater, or you might have a septic buildup, or a lot of times,
or Satan could be in your septic tank,
or if groundwater is polluted, or there's all these numbers of things that might make it grow or whatever. I mean, and even like there's certain types of like gas, like intentionally they give a bad smell to, so that if there's a gas leak, you'll know it's something bad, something's wrong, something like that. But it's just interesting because, if you're a skeptic, which I'm not, but if you're a skeptic, you can go, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense. It always smells like fucking butt, it always smells like sulfur when you don't need it to, but yeah. So what else?
Donkey lady.
Always heard that phrase, but I never heard the story. Nobody ever went to the trouble to be like, "Oh, the donkey lady." They'd say it like in grade school, but I never got anyone to explain it.
Do you know about it? I don't know about it.
So, from what I remember, and
then we'll do Bloody Mary.
Yeah,
now that one I remember.
That's a scary one.
That one was nasty. Someone got me good with that one in
they
basketball.
Made you do it?
No, what happened? Well, I'll just do that one really quick because where I, in grade school we didn't have a basketball gym, so every game for us was a road game, and for practice we had to drive to a small church that had like an old school wooden gym. Well,
what church was it?
St. Henry's in the south side.
Where's that one?
And it's real small. Anyway, the gym was just a little cracker box with just the wood floors, wooden backboard. Well, it had one of those bathrooms where it's like just a white wall and there's gaps on the right and on the left to just kind of walk into. Left side is boys, right side is girls, whatever. Yeah. And so in that bathroom, like everyone's going in there like get their hair wet or just actually go to the bathroom, whatever. And this kid, I remember talking about Bloody Mary, whatever. And I'm like, it starts to scare me. It just sounds freaky.
Yeah.
Sounds terrible.
And he's kind of a goofball, but he starts freaking me out. And of course, what does he do? Goes for the lights. Just turns the lights off and starts getting in the mirror. Someone else got in the mirror and just turning them on and off and like saying it out loud like however many times. And I was freaked out. I was like paralyzed. I couldn't run. I couldn't move. I was just like, what's going to happen? And I don't remember what the deal was with that. But
so the deal is basically, you turn off the lights and you say Bloody Mary into the mirror like 3 times or something, and then Beetlejuice pops out. And like the story that I grew up with was this is horrible the way it happened too. At the daycare that I used to go to, it was a swinging door. It wouldn't lock.
Yeah, the bathroom.
Yeah, the bathroom
the
door.
tiny little toilets, 6 inches off the ground.
Exactly. And then like the toilet's all the way on the far side of the wall, which the room was probably only 10 feet. But when you're like 6 years old, it's like, oh my god, it's a mile away. And then you've got the sink with the mirror, of course. And right next to that is the light switch. So while one kid's going to the bathroom, another kid runs in, turns off the lights, and goes to the mirror and starts saying Bloody Mary. And
this is a freaking daycare?
Daycare.
How old
Little
were you?
Kids, like 6.
Wow, that makes
7,
sense.
8.
I think it's probably the first time I heard it, too. Yeah.
So, and the idea was that Bloody Mary's hand would come out of the toilet and scratch you, like, with her claws, and she'd, like, try to kill you. Yeah, while you were sitting on it.
Yeah.
And, man, you know how many kids would run screaming from that bathroom?
Yeah.
It was horrible. It was horrible. And so that's the idea.
Okay,
Or either she emerges from the toilet or she's just in the room or in the mirror.
It would get like she'd come out of the mirror and scratch your face.
Scratch your face up. Yeah, exactly. Either way, like fucking scary ass shit, you know? You're looking over your shoulder now.
Yeah, well we've seen a shadow man come out of the bathroom
There's
more than
no
once.
shadow.
We both have seen it.
I didn't want to mention it because I know you were about it, but yeah.
No, you're seeing you're seeing the flicker. I'm sitting here watching, and I'm like, no,
flicker.
It's silly.
The fan.
It's
probably a moth outside.
Yeah, it's probably just a moth.
Yeah,
ghost of a moth. But yeah. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. What is that?
I don't know. Scratching. I don't know. Doesn't sound right.
All right.
So what was the other one I was going to say? Donkey Lady. So I don't know the story of the Donkey Lady Bridge.
That's
half donkey.
That's one that I heard around the same time I heard Bloody Mary, which is I was going to I think most of the time I heard scary stuff was I was going to a day camp, a YMCA day camp in the summer. Mm-hmm. My grandparents would drop us off in the morning and spend all day, playing Foursquare and shit with kids, and half the time you're kids scaring other kids, and then going to the bathroom and saying you have to flush the toilet 15 times, and when you do, fucking Bloody Mary comes out, or you turn off the lights and say the name, and she comes out and jacks you up, whatever. And I was about that age. I was like probably first or second grade when that stuff was going on, so I remember being terrified and probably lent a lot of credence to my wimpiness later in life. But we started hearing about like around that time Donkey Lady 2, and we always hear different stories. And I'm sure anyone out here that's listened to it will have a different version of it.
So where's the location? Because you know exactly where it is.
Well, they say the Donkey Lady Bridge is over off of Jet Road and Old Applewhite Road, which is, if anyone's brave enough to go out there, it's just south of the Toyota plant. So if you're going down Applewhite Road and you pass the Toyota plant on your left, you'll come to an intersection, which is turns into Old Applewhite Road, and there's an intersection with Jet Road, I think. You take a right, and it goes down a hill, and then you see a bridge. And the bridge is actually blocked off. And now it's a lot more... It's actually part of a big part of one of the green belts down there. So it's a bike trail, it's a walking trail, so it's not quite as scary.
But it's also still like a gang territory. Right?
Well, that's
People
another...
drop bodies out there.
Yeah, that's always what they say. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I've always heard, too.
I heard that somebody dropped a body out there and set it on fire.
That was over off South Presso. That was somebody that was alive. They dropped him out of a car and then burned him up.
Damn.
That was by the ghost. That was by the ghost
walked
tracks.
Right into that. Okay, well there you go. We'll tie it into.
But no, that is a thing too. That supposedly they dump bodies.
What was that?
What the hell was that? I had to take off the.
Was that legit?
Headphones.
Was that real? Was that Rick?
Either Rick let one rip, or something just.
It was probably your shadow guy taking a seat with you.
Taking the shit.
Let me sit on your lap.
Oh man. Okay, my headphones are back on.
I just cut that out. I just edit that.
You like that? You like that one? Hopefully that was audible. Audible.com.
Our sponsors for this episode.
You found your cut point.
That was good, man. You gotta keep that in. Anyways.
It was hideous. Hideous.
Oh God.
Funny enough, the Dark Overlords and Howard the Duck never scared me. Thought it would just looked awesome.
Yeah.
Except for that penis tongue.
When that wasn't even scary. I think Leah Thompson's hotness just kept me from being scared.
Oh, she's gorgeous.
No, you know the tongue that freaked me out was Freddy Krueger's tongue when he would stick it out on the phone when he was talking to one
the
girl.
girl's face.
Yeah.
Isn't there one where he licks between the boobs too? Of somebody else?
Probably.
I think that was part 2.
Probably. It was always a sexual horror.
He was possessed the kid in part 2.
Yeah.
There's a part where he's getting out with his girlfriend and he licks the Freddy Krueger tongue comes out. The big green tongue. The donkey lady, some of the stories were like stupid. And it's one thing, as a kid, you kind of believe him, and now you're like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Someone was like, this girl was out with her friends, and they were drunk driving. They were drunk driving. They got in a horrible car wreck, and the car caught on fire, and she lost, her legs. So when they took her to the hospital, they were trying to replace her legs, and they couldn't. And the only thing that was available was a donkey. So they attached donkey legs to her. Or
that's so horrible.
It's
that's so
bad. I remember being a kid being like, I can. But the thing is, as a kid, you imagine that you're like, oh my God, yeah,
that has
possible.
to make sense. That was the only thing they had. They couldn't take the legs from another human,
or not put the legs back on. Wait until there's better legs. Or one of them was it was a girl who was in a house, and the house caught on fire, and she burned up, and her hands melted. So when they melted, they looked like hooves,
cloven hooves,
and her feet or whatever. Again, probably not realistic enough that you'd run around town scaring people if you had this horrible 3rd-degree burns. But yeah, I mean, I said that was my experience hearing different versions of that. And then there's other versions where it was actually a woman supposedly that lived around a certain time that was just this old woman who had a donkey. It was just a lady and a donkey, and somebody killed her donkey.
The legs.
And somebody killed her donkey, and then her ghost's like,
why'd you kill my donkey?
Why'd you kill my donkey? Or something like that, which I could buy. I love donkeys. But yeah, there was one, I remember hearing, there was, the donkey lady had a car, and it was made out of bones. It was made out of the bones of her dead friends. She would drive it around the south side.
Wow. Oh, I got one little snippet to add to the freaky stuff. Pee-wee's Big Adventure with Big Bertha. The
Large Marge.
Large Marge, there we go.
That was terrifying.
That freaked me out.
That was horrible. That was horrible.
The sound of a Mack truck falling off the Empire State
the scariest
building.
part of that whole scene is
and they pulled it from the burning bodies from the wreckage.
The scariest part of the whole scene is the sound effect.
That was creepy.
That right there does the whole thing.
Yeah,
that puts it all together.
Yeah.
Fucking eyes.
And then people going, ah!
Yeah. He jumps out of the truck, right?
No, he cowers into the corner of the cab. He stays in the truck. She continues to drive like normal. She's everything's fine. He's like,
never mind, her eyes came out of her head.
Yeah,
that's hard to drive at night with.
The logic behind that is just it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other.
Good call on the scare factor on that one.
Yeah.
Also, not intentionally a horror movie, and that's just a scary moment.
Yeah. And the clowns, remember the doctors?
That's during when they're melting his bike.
Yeah, and the doctor pulls the little surgical mask, and he's like, is it the clown face?
Yeah, that's nasty. That's when
that.
what was his name? The fat kid. That's
Francis.
Francis.
No.
Oh
no!
Would you care for some gum? Meow, 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 meow.
One thing I do remember, because I don't remember that part at all. Apparently, I suppressed some of it. But the scene where he's pulling the bike chain out.
Oh,
yeah.
You
can see the very bottom.
On the bottom, the chain coming out.
Feeding through. Yeah.
And then the fucking clown, though. The clown, he chains the bike to the clown. And when he comes out and the chain's cut, the clown's like, ah, ah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I remember that part. I remember that part.
In stereo. That was creepy too.
Oh man.
Oh, Dottie.
I think that's pretty much.
I'm a loner.
And then Pet Sematary freaked me out.
Is Anthony Edwards in that?
No, he's in the second one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the first one is Dale Midkiff and Denise Crosby. Denise Crosby, the one from Tasha Yar from Next Generation.
Yeah.
Star Trek.
The one who got it on with an android.
Really? Her and Data?
Her and Data, yeah.
Wow.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't
No,
know
not
that.
the actors.
No, like the actual
the actors actually did Android. No. I get what you're saying, man. I totally hear you. I'm listening.
He gave her the USB.
Tasha.
How a little firewire.
He slipped through his peripheral.
It's funny that no one just goes to the office and talks about the hard disk. trying to get around the issue.
3.5-inch floppy.
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go.
Or 5 1/4 inch floppy.
Well, it grows to a 5 1/4. But it's weird because the bigger it grows, the floppier it actually is.
Which is pretty much true anyway.
Right? Yeah, because when it's 3.5, it's actually a hard disk.
Yeah, like it's funny. I wonder if they did that.
Remember what was the other ones that for 5 seconds you're like, oh my god, the zip disks. They're
zip disc.
It holds 750 megabytes.
I have like 50 of those. I actually have the zip drive.
I have a box of those in the garage.
What do you do with that, right?
Eventually.
What do you do with that?
I just don't have any way to plug it into anything.
Unless you're like 9 Inch Nails making the downward spiral. Like, what do you do with that? This one's got Piggy on it.
Oh, that's some good horror music right there, just for the vibe being recorded.
Remember the Broken video? That was so.
Yeah, the snuff film. Did you ever see that?
Oh no, I haven't. You told me about it. I downloaded it. I haven't seen it yet.
I have it somewhere downloaded. I never watched
it.
For me. It's gross. The guy fucks the hole.
Yeah.
The chainsaws the guy's dick off and they fuck the hole.
Yeah.
It looks very. I've never seen that, thankfully, in real life, but like it looks
real. Like it would. Yeah.
I think Cody was the one that had a copy of it. That's how I saw it.
Yeah.
And it was horrible. Like they blowtorch a guy and cut his arms and legs off, and then cut his balls off, and then do the whole while watching 9 Inch Nails videos. And you used to be able to buy it. There was remember that store in North Star that was next to Babbage's? There was a music store, and they sold shitloads of bootlegs, like concert bootlegs, and you could actually buy the Broken video there, but it's like $50.
Yeah,
which is crazy if you think about it, like
I
94,
almost stole something from that location. I think they had a.
Oh, Mario! I can't go one episode without admitting some crime.
Hey, I'm an open book. I'm an open book, man. It's fine. No, but it was right after Kurt died, because that store was still open in '94, right?
Yeah.
It was right after Kurt died. They had released a 6 CD pack, Into the Dark or Into the Void or something like that.
A bootleg one?
I think so. It was pretty much like live and demo stuff, but it was a 6 CD box set. It was $120-something, $150 or something like that.
Before the internet, man.
And I was like there, like I had it, and I'm like, I convinced myself I'm gonna steal it. I want this bad, and I'm gonna steal it. And I couldn't get the guts up to do it because I kept thinking I'm gonna get busted, and it's a lot of money, and it's gonna be bad, and I'm gonna be in mall jail, and my parents are here, and it was all these things that prevented me from doing it. So I didn't do it.
But it's crazy to. Like, I think thinking back, like, it's crazy to even think that they were able to sell bootleg stuff. Like, none of it was, like, I remember because I think Joe had one of the dual disc 9 Inch Nails concerts that he bought for, like, $30-$40. And someone had, like, the purified demos on it or whatever with, like, maybe just once and old ring finger and all that stuff.
I have those versions, yeah.
And it's like, I'm like, how did they even get away with selling that? I mean, back then that was before all the copyright, you know, Napster and all that bullshit. So I guess you could pull it off. And they would sell that shit for fucking like $50.
Oh, yeah. Well, they knew they could get the money for it.
Yeah, because there was no other way to get that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, because there wasn't even like CD burners then. You'd have to tape it off a disc, you know, like in '94.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember doing that because I had a neighbor who had Rusty Nails Volume 1 and 2 on CD, and I had to play it on a dual deck tape player. I ran it from the CD into the tape. Yeah, I remember having to do that. Sit there and hit play record and wait forever until the end of it, and then make sure that I wouldn't cut off a song, and I'd have to do the math of this side is going to hold X amount of minutes. Yeah. And that's going to cut off here.
Like, that's something that's kind of, I mean, I know we're way off topic, but like that's gone by the wayside is like, you know, when we were 14, like making a mixtape was like, that was like an afternoon or a night. Like it took time and you had to do it just right. Like I said, time it just right. You would cut songs off. And now like, you know, people do that. Like you make like there was a time when you made a mixtape for somebody, it had a lot of weight because, you know, it took time. Yeah. And now, like, you can make a mix and burn it, or not even burn it. No one even burns shit anymore, you know, right? Like, you just put it on a flash drive or Dropbox it or whatever, and it's there.
Dropbox
it's there.
Mixtape.
And it's weird, right?
It is. It's funny that you mentioned that. Like we said, way off topic. But if you're still listening to us, then it doesn't matter. I still have a couple of mixtapes that an ex of mine had given me back in college.
What was his name?
Nice.
That was fast.
Herman.
Nice.
Her name was Laura, which is funny. I can't remember her last name. I used to work with her.
That was right out of traffic. What you just hit him with.
Yeah.
Did he treat you good?
Oh man! But
sorry.
She had it was a weird relationship. But the music that she put on there, I'll never forget. She had some great stuff on there that I had never heard or experienced, and it you're right. The weight that it carried with it, it's like I felt like I knew her soul because of the music that she put on there.
Yeah,
and she didn't even have to explain why the songs meant anything. I heard them and I felt her life experience. I felt like we connected, and that's how mixtapes were,
Yeah.
And the one thing I'll never forget is that it ended with Somebody by Depeche Mode.
Oh, it's a badass song.
The live version.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I had never heard a Depeche Mode song.
Yeah, and it's not even Dave Gahan singing it. It's the other dude.
Yeah.
Martin Gore singing that thing.
And I was, this was 98, 99, somewhere around there. 98, I think.
Yeah.
And I had never heard their music before. I had heard of them, but I had never heard their music. And that was my first experience with them. And I was like, oh my God. I mean, it blew me away musically, but also just she took the time to make this mixtape, and that was her last song choice.
Yeah.
And it was a perfect end to that culmination of music. I still have it somewhere.
Yeah. In
a bin somewhere. But anyway, a little sidetrack on mixtapes, but I think that's about it. I can't think of anything else. I know we could go on and on about the Manger and the Driscoll, and Carolyn mentioned the haunted road trip she took with her sister.
Yeah, Geronimo in the basement of the Manger.
Yeah. We could talk about Marfa Lights.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's more alien stuff.
Still scary, man. You don't know. They don't know if they're aliens. Marfa Lights could be anything. I thought they were spirits of the.
Well, if we do get together and we do some stuff on Thursday, then maybe we can release a mini. A mini episode for a last-minute mini episode for Halloween, but I think we've got pretty much everything we need now.
Yeah, what do you guys think? Yeah, you're done. Thanks. I pushed stop a long time ago.
Well, I'm going to break this up. We're at 2 hours and 45 minutes. So this is going to break up into 3 episodes.
On my iPhone 6. Now
my bent iPhone 6 Plus.
I cannot update to iOS 8.1. The internet is stealing my pictures. Uploading my
another creepy movie. Last creepy movie. Shadow of the Vampire. Willem Dafoe.
I saw that keeps popping up on my Netflix.
You haven't seen it?
No.
It's
but
good.
He's like a real vampire.
Yeah, right? It's a movie based on the very first vampire movie, which was a silent film.
Which is a ripoff of Dracula, because they couldn't get the rights.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But, man, I don't know if he won any awards for playing that part, but he should have. Yeah. Even today, if somebody would be like, let's just randomly give out awards for Best Actor in a horror film or pseudo-horror film, because parts of it are funny, too. Because, it's as they're shooting the film. The idea is they go to this area to shoot the film to make it authentic, and they get a local to play Dracula or whatever. And he's really a vampire. They find an actual vampire. Yeah. They don't, the director realizes it.
Yeah, they just
and the vampire knows it. But the cast and crew, they're like, oh man, this guy's amazing. He's a method actor.
Does he really kill people?
And during the shooting of the film, people start dying, and the director's getting pissed. He's like, you can't keep killing our people. He's like, I'm sorry. It's really it's creepy.
Good. I have to watch that during the daytime.
Oh, he does an amazing job. Amazing job. One of my favorite Willem Dafoe films. Anyway, just to throw that out there as a last minute tidbit. So,
Michael, any last thoughts? Spooky thoughts?
Final Destination. The first time I saw a Final Destination movie, that first one with Ellie Lauder, that kind of freaked me out because that was so psychologically scary to my real life. Now I'm like, I can't take a shower without the sequence of events happening where I'm going to slip and fall and my soap's going to stab my eye as I'm, the water pressure from the thing's going to bust open and take my face off and just stuff like that. I was like, that first movie, and especially stuff in the kitchen, like where you're just trying to do your dishes and you slip and then your cooking knives stab you in the heart while you're on the floor.
Like imagine all those ways that you can die.
Anytime, to this day, anytime I'm driving on the highway and I'm behind a stupid truck with logs or pipes, I'm like, going to come. Remember, Rick, when we were driving to New Orleans, just right through the windshield.
Oh my god!
That's Rick and I trying to talk to each other with metal pipes through our larynxes. We've envisioned our own deaths on the road for 12 hours to New Orleans. You learn a lot about the different ways you can die. But
and what you would do to get hot peppers.
That's right. That's right. Monica Bellucci serving up right. But I think that's one of the funniest things about such a completely menial movie, but it has that lasting effect in the back of your head. These little permanent scores into your brain where you're like non-stop thinking about that stuff. Yeah. So
well, and it's funny. I just realized this. Like I was gonna wear a Halloween themed shirt and I left it at home. I recently got a Walking Dead.
Oh, I saw that.
I saw you post that. That was nice, man. Yeah, I just didn't like it because I don't do that, but I saw it. I liked it from afar.
I was going to give it a thumbs down.
I actually liked it, but I didn't virtually like it. No, I did like it. It's cool.
I just don't. Funny. I shouldn't be giving.
I don't know what The Walking Dead is. I don't get the reference, but.
Well, what I'm hoping. So I got it from this
electronic walking. It stands for e-walking.
E-walking.
Electronically walk.
It's like e-cigarettes.
Yeah,
I got you.
So it's from this hopefully maybe a future sponsor. I gotta touch base with them, but lootcrate.com. Loot Crate. I'll put up the link and everything, but it's pretty cool.
Are they local?
No, they are not local.
But
that's okay. It's like a geek box, a subscription once a month. You get a geek box.
Okay, I gotcha.
And the T-shirt was one of the things. The box that they sent me was it was a T-shirt of a skull. But the skull is made up of kittens, so it's Death by Kittens.
Oh, kind of
like cute.
That.
I don't think I'd ever wear it out in public. That's okay.
No, you should. You should wear it tonight. I like kittens.
You should post it, and I'll like it from afar as well.
Well, maybe I'll post it then.
Nice.
I think I'll do that. Maybe you'll like it from afar and not virtually. But speaking of that, Michael, you're wearing a very Halloween-themed shirt. Pearl Jam as a jack-o'-lantern. So as you all are listening to this, I'm going to take a picture of Michael if he's cool with that. Can I get a thumbs up? Okay, cool. So this is going to go on our Instagram so you can see the shirt because it's the closest thing to a Halloween theme that we'll have because Rick's wearing an Activision shirt. It's not very horrific. And I'm wearing a Girl in a Coma shirt. I mean, it's a bird, so it's not really a horror or scary thing. But anyway, so I just wanted to snap that real quick. And plus then you guys will be part of the Instagram feed. If you check it out, you'll be like, he took this picture as he was talking about it.
Like our pictures.
Like our pictures on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook. We're hopefully coming back from a lull. And we'll be a lot more active on social media.
We're going to be doing 40 episodes a week. It's going to be great.
It's going to unload on you. We're going to unload our load on you.
Wow.
Get a howitzer in your face.
It's a damn minigun.
Terminator.
Painless.
So hopefully this will be our jump back into everything and back into the throng of it all. Like I said, this is a 3-part thing, so we're at the end of it.
Are you gonna put all 3 out tomorrow?
No, I think I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna do like each day from now to Halloween.
Oh, there you go. That's
Friday.
Yeah. That way, someone can put this on at their Halloween party, and everyone can just sit around and
get stoned and listen to us talk about
El Camaroncito.
We're gonna become the most #1 prescribed prescription for sleep apnea and narcolepsy and all.
Except, it'd be good. Someone's gonna like fall asleep to this whole episode, then they'd be like, and they'll like wake up.
We need to do a read off next episode of all the East versus West, Key versus Peel team, the All-Star team.
Yeah.
That is over my head. They'll explain it to me later, but anyway.
Flaxen, Waxen, Jackson. John Smith. Key and Peele, man, check it out. It's good stuff.
I'll check it out. But anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for
my dick. That's good. I like it.
Have a good night, y'all.
You can visit us on our home on the web at www.itsaguythingpodcast.com, on Instagram and Facebook at It's a Guy Thing Podcast, and Twitter, It's a Guy Thing Pod. You can find us on iTunes and Stitcher Radio, and we'll be coming soon to many other podcatchers. Thanks for listening.